Now, similarly, we are looking at so many visualities and so many contexts in the so media is all about the visibility, all about the visual. So it is showing again and again the same kind of context. Now, similarly, if you have to see spiral of silence, now there is silence also. So according to this theory, if the media is propagate a particular opinion, then that opinion will effectively silence the opposite opinions through an illusion of consensus. Mostly it is used for the political means. If you can relate to the political conditions of of the country or maybe many other countries of the world, so this may be used as a political purpose. This theory relates specifically to the public sphere and used for the use of people. So what it is said, it is basically said that the more suppose a kind of violence which has been showing again and again, there may be some kind of opposite opinion to the violence. Suppose this was not this has been represented as a violence in the TV channel by 100 TV channels. Now there may be opposite to it, but 100 news channels is showing the same event as a violence, then the opposition voices are being neglected. Now these opposition voices are not getting highlighted because 100 TV channels is showing, the majority is showing it sort of uh, as a sort of uh, context, as a sort of, so there is a selective silence which actually giving it to the minority context. So the theory which states that those who hold minority opinions silence themselves to the prevent social isolation explains the role of mass media in formation and maintenance of dominant opinion. So actually dominant opinion always dominate the minority voices which is there in the society. Even if a news channel knows or maybe media knows about it, so they selectively present certain things and discard certain opposite opinions in order to get the popular view. As minority opinions are silenced, the illusion and consensus grows, and so does the social pressure to adopt the dominant position. There may be social pressure, there may be political pressure in order to accept the dominant. Of course, if there is majoritarian context into it, you know, the majority, because media is a commercial enterprise and it goes through the market norms, so that's why it can represent certain dominant positions. So in that context, it actually discards the minority voices and create by creating certain kind of illusion. Sometimes it creates certain kind of illusion, unnecessary program. Suppose there's a specific program which is related to the rural India. Still there are many rural Indian cases are not being highlighted in media. But news channels is actually showing something different, which is actually pointless. Now this can understand as selective silence because the media channel is categorically want or there may be political pressure on that particular news channel to silence this kind of, not to show this kind of incident. So this is actually a part of the entire propaganda game. To create this kind of self-propagating loop in which minority voices are reduced to a minimum and perceive particular opinion sides wholly with the majority opinion. For example, prior to and prior and end of the World War II, many Germans opposed to Adolf Hitler and his policies. However, they kept their opposition silent out of fear of isolation and stigma. So, this is a perfect example how minority voices could not speak out because at that time, after World War II, it basically with the, under the rule of Hitler, basically they do not have a certain kind of media. So because the media is one of the most important gauges of public opinion, the theory is often used to explain the intersection between media and public. So basically, this theory we can use to identify the selective selective voices or minority voices which are not being highlighted in media, and basically it says to study the media and the public opinion, what public talks about this particular media. So in that context, specifically if you are looking from today's context, if you are looking at the political situation or you want to do something on political communication, you want to understand the political context of media, you can probably use this kind of media logic theory. Now, what this particular theory says, media logic theory affects institutions as influence. So it takes institutions, broader institutions as individuals. So the modern context of this theory evolved from the adaptation of television style promotion of religious figures. While the utilization of the television in the political campaigns has led the candidates to consider their physical image as an important part of the campaign. So basically, media creates certain logics or creates certain delay effect larger than life, so that one person, suppose one political figure, so we want to show him as a something else or as something like God. So if you want to see this kind of eulogization or this kind of larger than life sort of portrayal, then this media logic theory is often portrayed. So this logic says that media's work is to visualize more. So in order to visualize more, sometimes media often exaggerates something which is very less. So it states that common media formats and style are served to means of perceiving the world. Okay. So today, the deep rooting of media and cultural consciousness means that media consumers need to engage for only one few moments. So there is very less moment for one media platform to watch. Suppose today you have very less program, very less time to watch a particular platform because we have multiple media. We have television, we have internet, we have radio, we have so you do not have really time to spend so much time for the television to understand or to probably to watch a comedy show, to watch a reality show, to watch a news show. So you have certain kind of selectiveness in your mind. So you are sort of logically watching the platform, logically accessing the media. Even though if the media is sort of trying to show you certain kind of exaggeration uh, through it, through the media. So the effectiveness of this format means that our culture uses the style and contents of the shows as ways to interpret it. So we basically take these platforms as a reality. Okay. For example, think about TV news programs that frequently shows heated debates between opposing sides on the public policies. Suppose there is a heated debate on the television on various issues, maybe political issues. So this style of debate has become template for the handling of disagreements to those who consistently watch this kind of program. So the kind of program, so after watching this kind of debates, in the regularly, so it will create certain kind of changes in your mind or in your body that you also when you sort of you start debating or you sort of start saying something, similar body language can also come into your body. So this is the effect of the this is the power of the movie. So when starting like from exaggeration, visual exaggeration, to selective to to know the audience's mind or to know the audience's behavior, probably this media logic theory can be used. How logically this has been, how media is logically portraying a certain person, how logically audience is receiving certain media contents, and how logically or what is the logic behind behind a particular media platform in order to change particular social behavior.